Alrighty then. We have now got all three of Emilio's cars. And what I need to do in this segment is now go after Larry's third car. And I have now figured out precisely how to not activate the game-breaking glitch. Which, to be completely honest, I've basically done many times before now, up to this stage, and I honestly just want it to stop. I want to just at least get one time where I'm able to prove I can now actually unlock the New York champ. So after doing some research, I have discovered that, well, if you do manage to win the race, basically there are so many ways it can go wrong, but I know precisely how to do it the righteous way. Or at least I've figured out how to do this the righteous way. After doing a bit more research. So, there was one guy I saw who did give a full in-depth description of how to unlock the New York champ. And by the way, the New York champ, in case you do or don't know, is called Kareem. He is the champion of New York who we will be facing against. Once I can stop.
Buddy, you trying to bore me to death or what?
Once I can stop fucking myself with these trees. Oh, and Larry is in the wall. Okay, I need to... That is so weird. I have no idea how that works. That's definitely bizarre, in my opinion. Knowing, of course, that, well, even though I was on the accelerator and in reverse gear, it still defaults me back to first gear when I accelerate. That's probably just weird to me, but it still feels weird. You got a lot of guts for a loser. Okay. So we have now got one more waypoint race to do with Larry, and what I can say is we are not going to do what we would normally do after this waypoint race, because I need to prove to you how to unlock Kareem, and I can now gladly say
You got a chance against the King of Queens?
I do know how to do this now. I've done it once before, and there's every possibility of saying that I will do it again. Somehow. Even if it takes me into next week to eventually get this right, I will figure out precisely the way I'm supposed to do it. If I can stop running into traffic so much. Which, to me personally, has been my Achilles heel. Knowing that there's basically so many things I can run into, and there's already been so many things up to this point that I've already hit. Well, at least I can say this time I'm actually running up front with Larry. And, oh, he just rolled himself over on the median. Well, I guess that pretty much gives me the race lead now. And all I have to do now is hold on to it. If I can. Okay, so I'm not going to hit a delivery truck this time. And there we go. I win!
You drove real good. Good job. You're good. Well, well, you're all right, but there's no way you beat the champ. You can find him in town.
So that's basically what we get as a result of beating Larry. Hey kid, with your luck and courage you could go far. Find Kareem, the city champ. Follow him to challenge for the city title. I will. So, this is the what now screen, which is basically what we get after winning every race. And what I need to do now is I'm going to show you how to unlock Kareem. So what we need to do is head to Cruise for some action. Don't challenge a hookman to another race, because if we do, it will activate the game-breaking glitch and it's basically game over. Also, if you change cars, that will also activate the game-breaking glitch. Instant replay, I'm not sure on whether or not this does activate the game-breaking glitch, but I'm not taking any chances. And if we restart the race after we've won it, that might also break out the game-breaking glitch, and it's basically game over and we'll have to start over from square one again. So, cruise for some action, don't need to change cars, and I think after this we should get a cutscene. Hopefully. Let's see what happens. Is there a cutscene to come?
My name's Kareem, and I am so fresh that the girl can't settle for nothing less. I'm the champ.
Thank God. I've actually done everything righteously this time. But yeah, by the way, that is what we get when we unlock Kareem. I'm so glad that cutscene eventually loaded up. There's also a couple of other glitches in this game as well, but the only thing I can really do now is basically challenge Larry for his car, I think. So cell phone, and we need to get his third car now.
Excuse me? I'm sorry. You reckon you're gonna race me in that? What is it? A lawnmower?
And I do not need to change cars, so not going to bother chasing down Larry to the waypoint race because we've already done that. I'm also so glad to say I finally got the cutscene I was after many failed attempts. And I did also give a brief overview of what we needed to do. And what I'm also going to do here is make sure that I record the replay after this race.
What do you call that thing? That ain't a car. You're a loser waiting to happen.
So we just have to get Larry's third ride now, and then once we have got his final car available to us, we can then move on to Keiko.
Hurry up. I got places to see, people to do.
Nobody wants to be friends with me right now. Just fucking nobody wants to work with me. Because that's just how many times I've already failed this. As in I've just come to learn now that
Good night.
no one
Sleep
is...
tight. It's been a lot of fun. See you
As in
again.
I've just literally come to learn at this point that no one wants to be with me. Oh! Oh, come on! Yes! I actually get out in the lead for once. And to be completely honest, I think that wreck actually helped me. Knowing
You better
that
figure it
Larry
out, 'cause you're gonna owe me big time.
had literally went straight into that building that was next to the alleyway,
Be careful.
and as a result, I actually came out of there in the lead. It was almost like the British Grand Prix of '76, when James Hunt was behind Niki Lauda, and then once they came out of Druids, Hunt was able to pull off the pass for the lead and effectively win the race. Although sadly, however, because of an illegal car change, he was ultimately DQ'd at the end of the day. Months after the race had been held, by the way, sadly.
Yeah, what do you want from me, a kiss?
But he still somehow won the race at the end of the day. Well, got there eventually. It took me quite a number of attempts to eventually get it right, because of how everything was just totally against me. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, James Hunt had basically passed Niki Lauda for the lead coming out of Druids on, I think, lap 45 it was. I have seen highlights of the race itself. They are available on YouTube. You know, the 1976 British Grand Prix. It is available on YouTube, and it's definitely a season that I can say has been way more interesting than this F1 season has been. Because, aside from the races so far being boring as hell, it's basically just been one team that's won every race so far. And there's been no real hitch to actually get the season going, realistically. But anyway. So yeah, basically what happened was Hunt originally won the race, but yet, because of chaos that happened on the first restart, and ultimately Hunt was involved in that, his car, as a result of that first corner melee, was basically damaged to the point of where it was beyond repair, and whilst the McLaren mechanics were able to repair some parts of the car, Hunt had to change over to the spare car in order to officially start the race. Well, restart the race. And part of the reason for that was because there were tons of clamour at the time from the crowd. And understandably so, because, you know, Hunt at the time was the national hero, but anyways. So yeah, he along with two other drivers, they were basically DQ'd because of knowing how they changed over to the spare cars illegally after the first start melee. But Hunt still won the championship in the end by a single point. Even though it is fair to say it did take plenty of chaos for it to eventually come down to that. But anyways, cruising for some action. I will now gladly change cars, because I've now got Larry's third ride in my stall. And what that means is I'm now going to change over to it. Also, I've now been recording this for nearly 23 minutes. But anyways, this is Larry's third car. And as for the colour, well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to drive this thing in red. Just because I think this will be a suitable way to go into this. However, we will not be driving this car in the next segment, because, well, for our third waypoint race, we are going to be driving in the rain, and well, as I now know, the Jones J450, it has terrible handling in the rain, at least compared to the third car Keiko has, because it just will not drive in the rain, in terms of actually turning. But anyway, so we've now got all 3 of Larry's cars, and if I just head over to the cell phone section now, and just do this...
What do you mean, race again? Forget it, no way.
Yeah. Well, very brief, but again, it does prove that whilst Larry does have some sportsmanship, it also proves that, obviously with his mood, he's clearly not falling for it. So that basically means we've got all 3 of his cars now, and now we just have to go and challenge Keiko for her 3rd car. And that will be coming up in the next episode of Midnight Club.